What's up, body rockers, body hackers? Body Rock TV, it's good for workouts, you should follow it. Okay, so today we're talking to Amanda Russell, an online upcoming trainer and fitness personality. She has a YouTube channel where she posts weekly workout videos as well as motivational videos, which we'll link to below so you can check out. But I caught up with Amanda and we talked about the following things that you will learn about and you'll love it. You'll love it. Okay, maybe you won't. I'm not gonna force you to love it. Enjoy the interview. So, in this interview, you will learn how to bounce back from injury. Now, Amanda, she was an Olympic hopeful. She was at a Division I running school, and then she broke her leg during training. She snapped her femur into, I think it was a femur. It was the biggest leg bone in your body, which I think is the biggest bone in your body. Anyways, she broke that, and she tells her whole story of how she was able to rehabilitate herself and get back into running. Though, you know, she can't run the same distances and the same speeds that she used to. She's not totally pain-free, but considering that the doctor said she'd never be able to run again, it's pretty remarkable. Remarkable. You'll learn how to develop more self-confidence, some tips and strategies that you can employ. You'll learn how to work out in a smart way and avoid injuries like the one that Amanda sustained that kind of crushed her Olympic dreams. And you'll learn Amanda's secret to having great arms. And this applies for men and women. You'll also hear about my little strategy of how I combat negativity with some of my friends. Enjoy. Today we're talking to Amanda Russell. Amanda is an elite athlete, holistic fitness expert, and brand spokesperson. After an injury halted her Olympic running dreams, Amanda drew on her lifetime of experience as an elite athlete to develop her own rehab program, figuring out what truly works. She has since created the AR program, a holistic mind and body system known for its ability to achieve immense results in less time. Amanda, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So tell us a bit about yourself. How'd you get involved with health and fitness?
So I got involved with health and fitness as a young girl. It started young. My dad has always been very athletic, and I'm from North Bay, Canada, and running was just sort of the easiest sport for me to try because it involved literally no resources. You don't need to be a certain size. You don't need a lot of equipment or coordination, and you don't even need to make the team. You can just it's the only sport that's kind of a walk on. Mm-hmm. And so that for me was kind of the gateway, and it ended up being my ticket to a much bigger world. And I was offered full scholarships for university, and that was sort of when things really changed for me. And I went down to originally Virginia on a full Division I scholarship, and I ran track and cross country there. And I have to be honest, anyone that says that running or fitness is easy, it's not. Even if you love it, it was still really, really hard. I remember. Even if you love it, it was still really, really hard. I remember thinking, like, what did I get myself into? You know, everybody else is in college and everybody's going out and meeting friends and having a great time. And we were on the road or training at 6 a.m. and again at 4 p.m. every day. And it was like a love-hate relationship. But at the end of the day, I think anyone that gets really into fitness or into anything like that with that endorphin high becomes like this love-hate relationship. And I knew that I had something that was special enough that I couldn't give it up. And so from there, that's when I decided that I was going to be all in. And then I started doing really well. And within about 4 years, I was on track to go to the Olympics. I had made automatic qualifying time, and which is basically a formality for Olympic trials. Mm-hmm. And it was right before trials that I broke my femur at the neck, which is, for those of you who don't know what the femur is, it's the biggest bone in your body that runs down your leg, and it attaches at the hip. And so it broke there. And then from when that happened, they told me that I would never run again, and that I would probably walk with a limp or with a cane, and that my physical ability would be very limited. And so to go from being your entire life is ridiculously dependent upon your body, and it's such a part of your identity, to have it sort of just taken away was devastating. Yeah, but it was like an identity crisis. And I think it was then that I realized how much this meant to me, and that how much of my life I had just put into this, and how fast it can be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that if I couldn't go to what I thought was the pinnacle of the athletic world, the Olympics, then I wanted to go to the pinnacle of the corporate world, which was New York City. And I had a lot of obstacles in getting here because I'm not American. But I had a business degree, and I literally sent my running shoes in a box to the consulting firm I wanted to work for, and I jumped through some hoops and ended up in New York. And I was working for a couple of years in consulting and found myself totally miserable. To go from being that athletic and movement oriented to being stuck behind a desk for 12 to 14 hours a day was depressing. And I realized that I really needed to get back, and I didn't know how, because I had all these physical limitations, and all I knew was to run. And so that's when I really started exploring every possible other avenue that I could. I started by walking in the water, literally, to go from like elite level running to literally walking with an aqua belt in the water in a pool. It was a humbling experience. And then I began running in the water, and then I took it to the bike, and I was able to put enough weight to do road biking. And from there, I literally just started trying everything I possibly could, from everything that wasn't running. And I was able to get myself strong enough that, I mean, to say running for me is a stretch, but I was able to do triathlons. And I know a lot of people was going to like question mark, like, if that's a lot of running. But for me, I didn't have to train for the run. I could just sort of like, make it through. Not the level that I wanted. And I can't do it a lot. I mean, now if I run one day, I know that I won't run for the rest of the month, but I can do it. But I finally realized that I could find a way to get fit again and get that same endorphin high and get back into that kind of shape without running every day. And I think that was sort of my long-winded journey back, if that helps.
Yeah. Do you still feel any pain when you run?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's always there. I mean, I feel pain even if I'm not running, like depending on the weather or the month, or if I overdid something. I'm so sensitive now that anything sets it off. And I've gone through periods of like 6 months at a time where I'm pretty limited.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask, did you originally break it during training, or was it an accident sort of thing?
Yeah, most people would think that it's an accident, because breaking a femur is almost impossible unless it's like a big car accident or something. But it was a stress fracture that cracked, because I continued to run on it and didn't. I knew there was something wrong, but at this point, especially in American sports, it becomes a business, and it's like more steroid injections, more painkillers, and you're fine. It's all in your head. Just go. Just keep going. And you break your body down, and that I ended up being able to actually crack. I mean, when I went to see the doctor, he was like, I've seen thousands of fractures, and I've never seen one break like this in the femur before. Wow. Yeah. So
do you think that's like a mindset not only within doctors, but also like just in people in general, like this no pain, no gain concept? Like, I guess there's a limit to how far you should take that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because it's a mind game, and especially people are becoming more aware now. Especially the psychology of pushing it too far. But at that level, especially in like professional sports, it's a business, and you are a machine, and so you just need to perform, and it doesn't matter, unless you have a very special relationship with a coach, that where they are like, where they really do care about you and they know the fine line. It's, you just need to perform, and whatever it takes. I don't care if what it's, I can turn a blind eye to what you're doing to perform, but let's perform. And that was a big shock coming from Canada, because Canada's mentality is not that way.
Yeah.
I know people work hard and it's do your best, but I came to the U.S. and I realized that second place is losing, and so it's like whatever it takes to do it. And coaches often, they can shape an athlete very well. Shape, some people say brainwash. There's different terms, and I was pretty much at that point would have done whatever it took. So, and I literally did, because it took me right out.
So through this whole experience, is that how you developed the AR program? And is that specifically for rehabilitation, or is that for like general fitness?
Yes. So to be very honest, I did not develop an AR program or any kind of program to sell or to market. Okay. I developed this for myself because I was trying to get back to fitness, and this is what worked for me. So rehabilitation, I do help people with rehabilitation programs. This is not what I would say a rehabilitation. It is being able to get fit like an elite athlete without running. But it's also for people who are runners or triathletes or athletes that want to get fitter, stronger, faster, develop more endurance, more stamina. Because this kind of training, I literally used the template of 10,000 meter training, which is the race that I ran. And it's a very, very specific format. And I substituted in all the drills and the body weight strength stuff and the plyometrics that we did. And so if you're an athlete or not, it's gonna whip you into shape really fast. It'll take whatever you're doing to the next level without having to run. A lot of people can't run because of injuries, knees. It's just, even if you do run, you shouldn't run every day because it's going to break your body down. So that's basically what it is.
Okay.
Perfect with.
Is it all body weight training?
Pretty much. Yep. Do you mean like it's pretty much all no equipment? Mm-hmm. Yes. At this stage, I do, in my everyday life, I do use equipment as well. I wanted to start off, I was very strict about starting off, especially with my online show, not using equipment, because I don't want to give anybody an obstacle or I don't want to try to sell people something, right?
Yeah.
For me, I know what it's like to try to get fit or get into something. And when you turn something on and they're like, and you need these 5 bands and this thing of weights and this, and it's just like, it's not convenient. So let me just try to eliminate all the excuses and make it super easy so that anybody, whether you are an 80-year-old grandma or you're a Division I rugby player, you should be able to do this work and get a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that bodyweight training is overlooked when people are trying to get into good shape?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question, because everybody wants to sell. The fitness has become a business, but at the end of the day, your body is your best tool.
As far as training for women, do you think there's like a optimal type of training for women versus training men, or what's your experience there?
Yeah, I don't. I think that's a myth. I think it's often marketed that way. Programs are marketed to women, or they're marketed to men, or to just certain target groups, because you have to with the target market. But at the end of the day, a squat is a squat. A 10-mile run is a 10-mile run. It's all about what you put into it. It's the intensity. It's how you train. You're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Okay. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about, your website deals with more than just fitness. It deals with relationships and advice and stuff like that. And a big thing is young women and how they can build self-confidence. Do you have any tips for women like that are kind of, maybe lost in the magazines and glitz and glamour?
Yes. You can't tell someone how to build self-confidence. It's got to come from within. But I think that one of the major obstacles is because of that you lack self-confidence, obviously how you feel about yourself, and not having something that you care that much about, that you're passionate, that gives you a sense of identity. a charity that I work with. It's called Girls on the Run. The reason I bring this up is because Girls on the Run is all about putting running programs in place for young girls. Why? It's not so much about the running. It's not about the exercise. It's about what it gives you, what it teaches you. It teaches you perseverance and how to work hard and how to feel. It makes you feel good about yourself. It gives you confidence. If you can give someone that gift, then you're opening up a whole world for them. So I believe that fitness can do that, because I was a runner. After the running ended, I realized it wasn't just running. It was all of fitness, and that fitness isn't the time spent exercising. It is the catalyst for positive change in your life. It's amazing to see people go through a transformation where, whether they're trying to lose weight or not, but anybody that gets into an exercise program, and I'm not talking going to the gym 7 days a week, anyone that gets into, whether it's playing tennis or doing something that moves their body, uses their body, makes them feel good and engages their mind, you'll quickly see their self-confidence change, their self-image. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really important for young women, is to find that. And it takes perseverance, because it's not easy in the beginning. Anyone that, it's easy to say, I just don't like exercise. I don't know anybody, honestly. My whole career is fitness, and I don't go to the gym and I'm like, this is so much fun. It's not. Running, putting yourself through that, it's uncomfortable, but it's a good feeling. Mm-hmm. When
it's the feeling afterwards that you completed it, and that's when all the endorphins come as well. So a little bit of science in there too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like anything else. It becomes a part of you. It's like brushing your teeth. It's not something you're excited about, but it feels pretty good. You don't want to go too long without brushing your teeth, right?
No, you get that furry teeth thing going on.
Yeah.
All right, as far as like fitness and your training, are there any little actions you've taken that have given you big results?
I am a big believer that it's all about little changes that make big results happen. So just to name a few, set your alarm clock 30 minutes earlier. It's a small change. It makes a huge difference in your day. Mm-hmm. Whether it's to, get all your emails out of the way first thing, or get everything ready for your day, or to exercise. For me, a big change, a little thing that makes a big difference is push-ups. This sounds kind of ridiculous, but push-ups are my secret to great arms. It takes less than a minute. You do them like as soon as you wake up or right before you go to bed. 2 to 3 sets of push-ups. It goes a long way. Women always want to know, how do you get toned, great arms? Mm-hmm. Push-ups, it's a great small change. Packing a lunch makes a huge difference in both your pocketbook and your waistline. I think that in general, big results come from small changes.
I like that, how you kind of like work in, it's not just fitness, but like you work in like waking up half an hour early, that affects everything, just like fitness does. So I like that. Me and a friend of mine, we actually we play a game with push-ups where whenever we complain or we say something that's focusing on the negative in our lives, we have to do like 2 to 4 push-ups right on the spot. So that's a cool way to...
Wait, so where are you when you do this? You'll be at a restaurant and one person has to go down and do push-ups?
Done it in a restaurant, grocery store, movie theater, everywhere you can imagine.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, so...
You have to have all your viewers do that too then. Put them on a challenge.
Yeah, guys, if you're struggling to get into shape and you don't know where to start here. All right, so have you done anything that you thought would give you a big result, like making sure you slept better at night or eating a cleaner diet, and you just didn't get the results that you had hoped for?
That's a good question.
Like what hasn't worked for you?
So this is an interesting question. There's a quote that I like, and it's called, "Focusing on results won't change anything. Focusing on change will give you results." Mm-hmm. And I think I like that quote because we're so focused on results, what the end result is. Like, we want to lose 5 pounds yesterday, and we want to see that, but we never focus on the changes that it takes to get there. So, half the battle, especially in fitness, is that people don't actually look at their regimen. Maybe they've been doing the same monotonous thing for so long, rather than stepping back and just making small changes. I think that's going to give you the results. When you're just so focused on the results that you can't step back and see what you're doing, what might not be working for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you just need to focus on making changes versus seeing results.
And trying to enjoy the journey and not just what you're going to get out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Life's too short, man.
All right. How should someone prioritize sleep, diet, exercise, lifestyle, supplements, and stress? Which do you think is the most important to tackle first, and which is least important?
Well, if only life were this simple that I could just list for you the priorities of what comes first and second and third. I think it's definitely a little more complicated, but I have to say that certain things in this list take care of each other. They're all interconnected. So, for example, if you're getting enough sleep and you prioritize exercise and you're eating a healthy diet, your stress levels, your lifestyle is naturally going to be less stressful. You're going to have a more enjoyable lifestyle, and vice versa. So I think that they're all sort of interconnected. It's a really big time management issue. So I think prioritizing, number one, would be looking at these things and looking at your schedule and doing some time management work in terms of being able to structure your sleep habits, getting enough sleep, exercise, so that it naturally takes care of your lifestyle, your stress.
Okay. What about diet? What diet works best for you? And have you experimented at all with different types of diets?
I never used to pay attention to diet at all when I was running, which is probably the wrong time to not pay attention to diet. My thought was, well, I run so much that I don't have to watch what I eat. And so I would just eat whatever. And it never, I never really started to think about it until I went through some really big health issues, which ended up turning out to be a really severe dairy allergy. And during that time, I experimented with every kind of diet, from gluten-free to dairy-free to vegan, pretty much, to basically whatever was juicing. I tried everything. And that's when I really started to really get into the importance of diet. At the end of the day, the diet I prescribe to is not really a diet. It's more like an 80-20 rule, where 80% of the things that I eat, I make sure to get balanced meals and that are all whole foods, clean eating, try to stay away from the processed, overly processed, refined stuff. But then, 20% of my day, I'm always going to indulge, because that I feel like food is one of the pleasures of life. And if you're always so restrictive, it becomes a bad relationship with food in your head. It's got to be. So 80-20, I guess, would be Amanda's diet.
Okay. And do you take any supplements?
I do. There's so much controversy in terms of research on whether supplements are actually effective or not. But I feel like there's certain ones that it can't hurt. So I take a multivitamin, which is just basically, if you aren't getting all your dietary needs from food in any given day, it kind of makes up for it. And I also take calcium with vitamin D. If you take calcium, you want to take it with vitamin D, so that it absorbs. And fish oil, which is great for your skin, your hair, your nails, your blood flow. So those are things that I think that anyone can take.
Are you doing?
Good to add.
Are you doing like the liquid fish oil or the caps?
I can't stomach the liquid fish oil, to be honest, but I do they're like liquid capsules that you just have to swallow.
Okay, because I know there's a lot of people are experimenting with high dose fish oil, where they take like 3 grams to 6 grams of combined EPA and DHA per day. And if anyone was interested in doing that, they would want to try the liquid stuff. Otherwise, you're swallowing like 20 to 30 caps at once, which is a bit crazy.
Oh, wow, right. I take 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and then I call it a day.
Okay. All right, last question. What's next for you, and where can people learn more about you?
What's next? That is a good question. There's a lot. Sky's the limit, I think. Right now, I am exploring doing a fitness clothing line, and I'm in the very beginning stages of the online television. We have a long-term rollout plan where it's going to become more of like a full-on show, more full-length episodes. My website is going to become more interactive. There's going to be, everything on there. So you'll be able to buy a meal plan. There'll be a community. There'll be a lot of giveaways, and it'll just be more comprehensive. You can get your own customized fitness program. I'm also doing a lot of speaking and a lot of seminars and workshops and classes, so that around the U.S. and possibly in Canada, so you could actually come and attend and do a boot camp with me yourself. And I'm thinking about, we're in talks right now to do a series of DVDs, which kind of seems backwards from what I'm doing right now, but since the shift hasn't totally been made, we might still go through with the DVD and a book.
All right.
Yeah.
You're a busy girl.
You got to have your hands in lots of pots. It's the best way to be, right?
That's the way to do it, yeah. And then your website is it Amanda-Russell or AmandaRussell.com?
So, yes, there is Amanda-Russell.com, which is my website. And then there is AmandaRussell.tv, which is my weekly show. So you go to Amanda Russell TV, you have to make sure to subscribe. It's free, and you get a new workout every week. And then also now, I don't know if you guys have heard of TheView.com. VYOU.com. You would like this.
VYOU.
Yeah, I think you would really like it. It's kind of you'll get lost on it. You'll spend a lot of time. But basically, I have a View account, and you can go in there and type me questions, and then I'll answer them on video in real time.
Oh, okay.
So you could type what's your typical day? And then I'll say, Joey from Minnesota asked, what's my typical day? My typical day is, and then I'll answer it. And if I'm not online,
okay, cool.
If I'm not online, they'll be in my QE, and I'll answer them when I get online.
All right, that's a cool way for people to interact with you.
It's it's fun.
And then you're on Twitter as well, right?
I am. I'm on Twitter. I'm ARFit, ARFIT, and then on Facebook, I am Amanda Russell Workouts.
Okay.
So you can find it.
We'll have all these links below in the post.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Amanda. Thanks so much for talking to us today. That was a great interview.
Thank you very much for your time and your patience, and my first time ever on a Skype interview.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that interview. If you know anyone that you think would make for a good interview, go ahead and send me an email at spencer@bodyhack.com. And as always, if you didn't listen or hear about this interview on our blog, you can check it out at bodyhack.com, and then just click the link to the blog. Peace. See you later.